Hey babes, welcome back to the show, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brandy. I am the host of the Be Real Babe Show, a spin-off of the Be Real Babe podcast. And today, you guys, we are keeping up with Canada. It is Monday when you're watching this. And today, you guys, I have two pieces of information I wanted to bring you. One article because unfortunately, we need to talk about this because I think it's a little crazy, and I want to know what you guys think about the new Liberal government and how they're going to attack the budget of 2025. And then I'm also going to talk about a story that's happening right here in BC, just about 150 kilometers away from us, where a local farm here has been fighting for the lives to save their ostriches, while the Canadian government and CFIA are what looks to be overstepping for legal purposes. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to say what they're fucking doing, but it looks like allegedly that they're doing some shady shit, and I wanted to go over their website and direct you over to their page and to support them through this as things are moving ahead, looks like positively, but I also believe that the more we spread this out, the more likely a better outcome will happen with more people's eyes on this, and so we're going to go over that today. So if you're interested in listening to that, stick around and we'll jump right in. Okay, babes, as mentioned, first and foremost, because this is just a little part of what I wanted to talk about today, obviously going to, like I said, still talk about politics, but I also want to put eyes on situations that I feel are important as well. So today, which I do feel this is super important, it's going to dial back a little bit on politics and focus more on local level, local to BC stuff, but stuff that I think all Canadians should be paying attention to and listening in on and keeping their eyes on. And I apologize if you hear a sassy black cat. We're being really needy today, and it's a cold and snuggly day, so apologies if Jackson is having his moment here. But let's read the first article that I wanted to share with you guys today. Love this for us. Love this for us. Really curious to know what you guys think about this. So, Finance Minister says no 2025 budget while government focuses on fall update. Champagne said his first three orders of business are tabling a motion to cut the bottom income tax bracket, presenting a throne speech on May 27th, and publishing a fall economic update. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne signaled Wednesday there will be no spring budget and only a fall economic statement, despite his predecessor announcing pre-budget consultations early this year. Asked by reporters about the date of the next budget, Champagne says his first three orders of business are tabling a motion to cut the bottom income tax bracket by 1%, presenting a speech to the throne on May 27th, and then publishing an economic update in the fall. He made no mention of a budget, nor did he respond to the repeated questions as to why the government would not be tabling a spring budget. The middle class tax cut, that's step one. Step two, you're going to have a throne speech which will outline the Canadian government's priorities, and there will be a fall economic statement to follow, Champagne said, after his first cabinet meeting since the shuffle Tuesday. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said the decision not to take a budget is a sign that Carney is failing to deliver on his election campaign promises to Canadians. Parliament has already been shut down for nearly half a year, and now in the face of serious economic threats, the Liberals don't intend to present a budget this year. There's no roadmap forward, no economic vision, and no willingness to lead, said Poilievre in a written statement. This is not the leadership Mark Carney promised, and it's abandonment. And not to be this way, but I feel like now this is the second time. I'm going to jump in, I think, next week and talk about, it sounds like allegedly that Carney had already dropped the tariffs before, against the reciprocal tariffs or the whatever tariffs, the big mean tariffs that were going to scare Trump. Apparently he already dropped those, April 11th. And he was going to go down there and show him what's up, and he didn't. And again, I didn't vote for him. I'm sitting back. I'm watching him, what he, Liberals, are you going to hold him to account, or are you just gonna have more excuses? And they haven't been working for how long? I understand that must have been hard to go through a breakup with your party. Okay, cool. You're the fucking Canadian government. You guys are supposed to be working. Do you know what's crazy? When I go through stuff and there's mergers and stuff at work, I don't just get to take off and not do my job. I don't get to just pause and not work because a merger is happening and things are figured out. If anything, those are the times that you should be present more, that you should be putting, you guys haven't worked since December here. You're not going to work until May 26th. And then you're going to, my guess is the reason why there's no spring. There's reasons that they say, but you guys haven't worked. So you haven't gone to work. So how about we go back to work? It's been a long time. And how about you work extra hard to get that budget out or give something to Canadians? But in the meantime, things are going through, no opposition talking about it, no government, nobody sitting down. Things are just happening. or not happening? Like, which is it? It's just, this is fucking wild. Champagne signaling that there will be no spring budget is notable because his predecessor, Dominic LeBlanc, announced pre-budget consultations in February. At this time, Justin Trudeau was still Prime Minister while the Liberal Party was in the midst of a leadership race that ultimately crowned Mark Carney. So, through Budget 2025, the government will remain focused on responding to the current Canada-US context, making life more affordable for all Canadians, continuing to strengthen economic security, and unlocking growth by boosting our competitiveness and productivity. Read the release by Finance Canada announcing the consultation. In December, the Commons Finance Committee also tabled a 330-page report on the fruits of its 2025 budget consultations. Champagne also clarified that Prime Minister Mark Carney election promised to cut the lowest income tax bracket rate by 1% will be introduced through the Ways and Means motion within the first 2 days of sitting in the House of Commons, which reopens May 26th. In a ceremony reminiscent of a U.S. president signing an executive order, the Prime Minister opened the cabinet room to TV cameras and photographers on Wednesday to film him publicly signing an order directing his government to prepare a motion to deliver promised tax cuts. Canadians sent a clear message. They need to see improvements in their affordability, Carney said. We're acting today so that on July 1st, as promised, the middle-class tax cut will take into effect. Some of us aren't even going to qualify for that, just BT dubs. And then those that do, it's probably going to be like $20 a paycheck. Like, thank you, overlords. I appreciate out of the 45% that you take back, I'm going to get $200 and something. Merci beaucoup. Like, fuck me. Okay. So also, I just want to also point out, side note, find it very interesting that Carney was going to stand up to Trump, right? You guys all voted him in because he was going to be this big bad guy that was going to take down Trump. Well, actually, it seems to me what I watched, it looked like he was fangirling him. He actually said he's doing an amazing job and that he hopes to lead like him to get the economy out. So was he going to? Because he kind of just as Trump does, because he's a big character, but he didn't overpower him. He seemed very like he was meeting a celebrity or a longtime friend. It didn't seem like it was there to stand behind Canada. And then if it is true that he did drop the scary tariffs that he put back on the states before the election, I'm just saying, liberals, if that is true, are you mad about that? Or what are your reasons? Please let me know. Because if it was Pierre in office, you guys would be holding him accountable. So, hi, here we are. Hi, was it CICS? Hi, talking about the Liberal government. Just a question. Champagne said he expects opposition MPs to obviously support the government's motion. This is about Canadians. You know we are in a dire situation. This is a way for all of parliamentarians to show up and say, yes, we support Canadians at the time they need a break. Reminder, you guys have been in power for the last 10 years. You could have done this. I digress. The first time the government did not table a spring budget was 2020 on the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in March. At the time, the sudden shutdown of Canadian economic laid waste to the Liberal government's original spending plans. Instead, the Trudeau-led government tabled a mini-budget fall economic statement. Remember how that went, guys? How'd that go? Was that something else? How was that? Do we remember how good that was? Do you guys see the co-host today? We didn't have a snuggly boy before. I don't know if many people have cats, but we definitely didn't have I scared him away. He got shy. He wasn't a cuddly cat, so we promote any cuddles when he brings them on and gives them. So anyways, sorry for the side rant. So what do you guys think about that? Again, we all know I don't know shit about fuck, so educate me. Why would we not be wanting to see a budget? Why are we not working extra hard why are Liberals working extra hard to make up for the turmoil that they had within their parties? If it was me and I was the new leader, I would be gung-ho to get back in and start working. I would be back immediately and remove the red tape, get back to work, figure out what was going on. Why is there no house? It's just a drama fest. It's really like watching After Hours on Big Brother. But there should be something. There should be something for all of the public to be able to tune into and make their own opinions at least. And right now, we're relying, unfortunately, on independent journalists and social media and mainstream media to tell us what's going on. And I don't trust any of it. So it would be nice if we could go back to conversations in the House, please, and so that all of this could be brought up and talked about live for all Canadians to see. But I digress. Okay, most important topic of today, I want to bring you guys and your eyes to saveourostriches.com. What is happening there and the fight that they've had since, I believe it was end of December, we'll go through the story here, is been absolutely insane. It's not shocking that this is happening here in BC, and it's not shocking after what we've seen over the last couple of years of what the government is doing or attempted to do, or the agencies that work for them. And it also shows that the power of the people is very strong, and there's some amazing people that have rallied around this farm that continue to do so. And I want to throw my support in there as well and bring your guys and focus to that this week, and to get you guys to go over there and help in any way that you can, whether that's sharing the story, donating, buying some merch, whatever you can do to help these guys, just even the knowledge of it. Go and research this yourself, guys, but I just wanted to show some pieces of their website and direct you guys here if you can help, of course, and just to... This isn't just, it's just like when they were trying to stand up for the nurses, you know, maybe you're not a nurse, but maybe you know someone that's a nurse, and maybe someone's not in the situation now, but maybe someone will. And the attack on farmers and poultry, I think we've seen across the country, across the world, actually. And there's people that are boots on the ground fighting against that. And I think it's important that we pay attention. So what the fuck am I talking about? Which I'm crazy shocked that this hasn't gone more viral, to be honest with you. It's kind of disappointing. Okay. So what am I talking about? So today we're talking about Universal Ostrich Farms. Universal Ostrich Farms is located in the remote town of Edgewood, British Columbia, in the heart of the Kootenays, approximately 135 kilometers southeast of Vernon. For over 3 decades, the farm has been home to more than 400 ostriches raised in a naturally quarantined environment by experienced farmers Karen Esperson and Dave Belinsky. Yeah, so Vernon's very close to us, and so this is, like I said, when I'm saying this was close to home, I mean this was close to home, and I feel like people around here are talking about it, but I hope this spreads even further. So what do they do at Universal Ostrich Farm? So their main focus of the farm is antibody research and development, researching the unique and robust immune responses of ostriches to better understand how their antibodies function and adapt over time. Natural immunity studies, studying how ostriches build and maintain resistance to various conditions in order to gain insight into natural immunity processes. Education and public awareness, promoting awareness of animal health and disease resistance while advocating for the protection of animals and the rights of small, independent farmers across Canada. I think we can get all on board in this. And like, honestly, I think the one thing that I love so much is just seeing the happiness of those that are at the farm and the relationships that they've built with the ostriches. And just like, there's Karen right there. Just see how happy she is. And just one with the birds. I love that. So I wanted to also, before we get into what's happening, I wanted to just highlight this part here as well. You know, it's like, why is this research so important? What is going on there that is attracting all this attention to these ostriches? And I thought this was a very important part of the website. The promise of natural antibodies. The ostriches at Universal Ostrich Farms are valued not only for their genetic traits, but also for their strong, robust immune systems, which have attracted the interest of researchers worldwide. After the farm stopped producing ostrich meat in 2020, Esperson and Belinsky shifted their focus to studying natural antibodies, collaborating with Dr. Yashiro Tsukamoto, of Kyoto University, Japan, and Dr. Stu Greenberg from Boston. This research examines the unique properties of antibodies found in ostrich eggs and their potential applications across various fields of study. The farmers believe their farm has the potential to provide critical insights into managing and controlling diseases in wild populations, such as migratory ducks and other wildlife species. Why isn't the CFIA working with us to come up with a solution? Sydney wonders. Why are they so determined to destroy our healthy ostriches and stamp out their natural immunity? Great question. So what happened? This is where I just wanted to preface that, because I found it, because at first, obviously I knew this was going on and I started diving deeper into it. As of watching this happen, people in my area were sharing it. So I started getting into it more. And it's like, what is actually going on here? Why, I don't know. There's just, when there's smoke, there's fire usually, right? Like, why are they going after these individuals? It just didn't make sense at first. And then kind of when I started reading all of this, it started making more sense. And again, I'm not a scientist. I'm just reading what I'm reading, but I see a lot of other people that are standing up for the ostriches. And I feel like I'm back in the COVID moment where I'm like, hey, the government and these bodies are saying this thing, but but there's a lot of other things like the testing and all these things that don't make sense, and things aren't making sense again. And I feel like it's one of those moments again. And so I had to dive deeper, obviously. So what happened? So the situation began on December 10th, 2024, when a 3-year-old ostrich showed pneumonia-like symptoms. Although it recovered, some younger ostriches and those introduced to the farm after 2020 also became ill, resulting in 69 deaths out of 468 ostriches, or 15% of the original herd, over 36 days. The farmers observed the ostriches previously exposed to a bacteria infection in 2020 showed no new symptoms or death, suggesting that they had achieved herd immunity. Despite the losses, the remaining ostriches fully recovered, and as of January 15th, 2025, no further illness or death have occurred. Though the ostriches are not being raised for food, it didn't take long for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency to get involved. On December 28th, the farm received a phone call from the CFIA stating that they had received an anonymous tip that there was suspicion of avian flu on the farm and that they would be coming to take samples. On December 30th, CFIA agents arrived at the farm and conducted 2 PCR tests, oral and rectal, on 2 dead ostriches that had been deceased for over 24 hours. The farmers asked the attending CFI agents if they would also test a couple of their healthy ostriches, and they were denied this request. The next day, on December 31st, the PCR test results came back positive for H5N1 avian influenza, and a cull order was issued for the family to destroy all of their ostriches February 1st, 2025. The farmers were also given a set of quarantine requirements with instructions on how to dispose and bury their animals, doing with the health, along with a link to mental health support. How kind of you. Why, thank you. Here is what they're asking here. So all animals of susceptible species on site, see below, and any related animal products, byproducts, and things along with any animals, products, byproducts, and things having contact with them. Description of susceptible species present on site. All avian species in premise. All birds' carcasses are kept indoors or in the barn. Any movement on or off above and mentioned premises will require license of removal or animal or things from CFIA in order to be removed from the site. Esperson and Belinsky were shocked and requested further testing to confirm the results. They asked for tissue samples to be taken, as this is considered the gold standard for diagnosing any illness. They wanted to determine whether if the avian flu or something else, possibly a bacterial infection, as the symptoms resembled those affected in the farm in 2020. At that time, an autopsy and tissue sampling were conducted, and the vet identified it as Pseudomonas, a bacteria found in soil and water. The farmers asked for the same testing protocol to be applied in order to confirm the results, but CFIA denied the request. Esperson and Belinsky were also informed that they were prohibited from testing and treating their animals, including independent evaluations from their vet, under the threat of $200,000 fine or 6 months in jail. If that's not a fucking red flag, I am not sure what is. What do you mean you can't treat or test or take care of your fucking animals? If you're going to kill them anyways, what's it matter to you? That's my question. Like, what are you talking about? Why do you want them not to test or treat their animals to make them better? Is that just the answer now in Canada? Something doesn't work out and fucking kill it? Is that where we're at? No treatments, no getting better, just fucking murder. Cool. I'm never going to be monetized on YouTube. I understand this. So, gross, obviously. Let's look at these ostriches, right? Because one thing that I noticed and I thought was very brave, and there's so much more to this, guys. I really want to encourage you guys to go read up the story yourselves, and go watch all the videos on it, because I think they've done such a good job to, and they got banned, their Instagrams and all those, of course, as usual, when you're speaking out about something, it gets taken down, and there's been insane amount of suppression for this stuff. That's why I want to talk about it today. But please go watch the videos. Please go find it up on YouTube. On their website, they have a link to their YouTube page. So please go make sure and watch it. I want to make sure that the views are going there. But I also thought, it was really cool how they said we all are humans, right? And these are animals. These are animals that deserve to be stood up for. They can't speak for themselves. And if they're all healthy right now and they don't need to be taken away, then why the fuck are you doing that? Anyway, so let's look at some of these ostriches. Who are they trying to save, which I love. So you can go to their website and you can meet, that was Shelly. That was with Karen. Oh, so cute. So there's Shelly, Spike. I love their little hairs. Q-Tip. I love that fucking name. Barney, Carrie, Arnold. Arnold's got a big beak. Speckles, Frank. Oh, we love Frank. My camera's named Frank. We got a little Anna there, a Lulu, a Priscilla, a Bonnie, a Spirit, a Precious. Erica likes the camera. Oh, Kikaru likes the camera too. So each one of these, and like if you're a pet owner, you know it's not just a pet, it's someone that you care about. And whether that's 400 ostriches or your cat or your dog, no one deserves that. And I understand protecting people, protecting farms. I understand that. But if there's nothing wrong with them, then you're not actually protecting them. You're trying to control them. And these animals mean a lot to a lot of people, and it looks like they're going to be very important for research in the future, especially, and it's just, again, why do I feel like I'm in the pandemic? We're talking about PCR tests and herd immunity again. This is what I'm saying, is giving very pandemic feels, like, oh, a PCR test, which is a very controversial test. I'm not going to fucking get into it, but we all know if you know. So, and the fact that they're not allowing them to test their own animals and take care of them is wild to me. Again, why do you care if you're just going to kill them, what they do to them? What negative is there for you, except for you might find out that they're completely fine and then you look bad because you're carrying out orders? I mean, it sounds very big pharma to me, don't you think? That's kind of where my head goes. I mean, sorry, maybe I've just got my ball cap on, maybe I just have my hat on today, but I can turn this into a tin hat. I just got to go downstairs and get the tin foil. Like, what? Why, when there's literal actual research going on right now that could be groundbreaking, why are we stopping that? Why are we trying to get rid of the animals that might contain that? What is that farm going to do? You're just going to take everything away from them? And remember, this sets precedent. That's what I was trying to say before. When the nurses were trying to fight against the mandated vaccines, they're fighting for everyone, whether you agreed with this one or not. Maybe down the road, you won't agree with one that's coming down the pipeline. And you're going to want people to stand up. Same thing. That's why it's important that we all come together, whether we're farmers or not, whether we're ostrich farmers or not, and talk about this. And it's like things are working. There's going to be a positive so far to the ending of this. It's not over, but we're going to keep going. But it's beautiful to look at everyone coming together, and these are actual animals. So we met the birds. Now what's happening next? On January 2nd, the farm received an email from CFIA agents stating their animals qualified for depopulation exemption due to their rare and valuable genetics. The email included district unit request package with a depopulation exemption form, which they asked to be completed to prevent the ostriches from being culled. You can go to the website and look at that. However, the form was intended for commercial poultry farms that did not apply to their situation. Esperson explained that the forms could not be filled out properly as nearly every question was unrelated to ostriches. The CFIA agent warned that answering no or leaving questions unanswered would lead them to the exemption being denied. The following day, a 5-hour meeting took place between top CFIA agents and the farmers. The CFIA expressed interest in learning more about the farm and its operations, requesting detailed information on their business plans and supporting research. Esperson and Belinsky freely shared the information, hoping it would demonstrate a unique and valuable opportunity for collaboration in studying and potential funding for important natural antibody research in Canada, which we just talked about. Now, on January 10th, the farmers received official correspondence from CFIA denying their request for depopulation exemption, stating they did not meet the criteria for unique and rare genetics. They also reminded that the cull order remained in effect and requiring them to destroy and dispose of all ostriches as of February 1st in their email. The CFA stated the decision is final and not subject to appeal. Pasitny remembers the early days of feeling desperate for help. She reached out to friends, family, and her community and local news agencies and did as many interviews as possible with independent journalists and various media outlets and podcasters. The story of the ostriches quickly spread from people across Canada and the U.S. and now the world showing support. On January 21st, the day before CFI was scheduled for an inspection, Pasitny and a group of community leaders held an emergency meeting. Within hours, the campaign Save Our Ostriches was launched. A website was set up, posters were designed, and social media posts were shared. People quickly mobilized, gathering at the farm following morning to show their support. Upon hearing about the gathering, the CFIA canceled the inspection an hour before it was scheduled, stating it was aware of the protesters and would break the RCMP next time. The 10 peaceful supporters holding handmade Save Our Ostrich signs at the side of the road weren't surprised. It was yet another example of the government's heavy-handed approach. Look at everyone out there. Hats off to you guys. The next day, the CFIA sent another email at the end of the day that they will be returning the following morning. This gave the supporters a little time to organize, and they still managed to gather 15 concerned citizens to quietly witness, film, and photograph the visit. As expected, the RCMP arrived along with 4 CFI agents dressed in full hazmat suits to conduct a protocol check and ensure compliance with quarantine measures. This time, the farmers were ready, capturing footage and asking questions and recording the interactions via social media. You can go see all the videos there. So what's at stake? As mentioned, the facts that these ostriches are culled will not only be a tragic loss of life, but would also be a loss of valuable genetic material and groundbreaking research. These ostriches may revolutionize disease research and contribute to humanity in ways that have yet to be fully realized. These ostriches have the ability to do something remarkable. Pasitny says, choking up as she recalls her mother's words from childhood. My mom always said these ostriches would do something amazing for humanity one day, and maybe the time is now. Okay, so let's watch a video of what happened, and then I will share with you guys where you can go to help support. So let's watch this video with great news that I found on TikTok.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Sarah with the Clone Resistance. It is May 15th, 2025, and we have some fabulous news from Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia. We're going to turn you around, and we're going to have a little chat with Karen Esperson. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi. Really good.
What's going on today?
RDCK had a meeting, our regional district, Central Kootenay boundary district. They had a meeting today, and in this meeting was all about the dump site and where the birds got the contract, and that the birds were supposed to be going, and CFIA had said to expect them to come in 1 to 4 days. So we've been, as you know, higher security than ever, and hunkered down in the fields and making sure that nobody's coming in or sneaking in to start shooting or killing our animals. But they had this meeting because this is where the animals are going, to the dump site. And if CFIA deems them as biohazard, then how can you load them in a dump truck, take them across a ferry, drive them down the highway, and then dump thousands and thousands of pounds of carcasses into a land dump site? So at the end of this, it works out that there was 200 and some people on call with questions. They said they were inundated with 600 emails, messages from people about this. And then everybody at this meeting was all about the ostrich farm and about it being dumped at the landfill site. And Katie was the second last question, got there at the nick of time. She said she almost fell in the door getting there to get her question in. And she just put it as plain as simple as she could and said, we're all human. You're all human. You have jobs, but we're all human at the end of the day, and we're doing this for your kids. And that's what this is all about, is protecting our food source and making sure that justice is done. And they actually asked if RDCK would represent us, and they said they act as a body, so it's not something that they could talk about. And then the one gentleman said, we have to stop, we have to take a break for lunch. They've just been bombarded with the questions. They said, we're sorry you have any more, put them in writing. We need a break. They took their lunch break. They got a hold of Katie and said, would you guys all please come back in? We want something to say to you. So we watched it live, and they said they put a motion forward today that they will not accept any animals unless they're tested, and this was going to CFIA, and they were setting a precedence for the landfill site. Unless they test positive for H5N1, they are not to be accepted from this day forward by the landfill site. So it is an amazing day for Universal Ostrich, because now that also forces CFIA, if they want them to go there, they have to come test them first, which then we can prove they're healthy and they can just sit where they are, because we wanted to be tested to prove that we're healthy forever. Or they have to find another landfill site, which is fine, because power of the people, and because of all of you guys out there, because of everybody coming together, this is power of the people working.
Wow. Right? So where can we go to help? Because obviously this is a real great step forward, but it's not the end, right? So where can we go to help this farm? So again, going to their website, saveourostriches.com, you can go to the donate now button, or you can scroll down. So let's see. They're looking at about $175,000 in legal fees and about $102,000 in donations so far. So they're getting close to their goal, but they obviously need help more and more. So you can either go to support the farmers here and donate any amount that you need to, or in these increments. And you can also go to their e-store here, and they do have some really cute, I really love this hat. I actually think I might get this hat here. So there's a t-shirt, there's a hat, there's a sweater, a hoodie, another hat. This one's really cute too. I really like that rustic look. Good choice, guys. And then you can have a bumper sticker, which I'll probably have to get rid of my car, so can't do that. And then a book as well. So various ways. And I think, again, like the biggest way is sharing their story as well, and making sure that people know about it, that we're having conversations. Don't listen to anything I said today, guys. Go look at their website, go find their Instagram, go support them, go find their YouTube. Please go put your eyes on it, share with anybody that you know, ask the questions. I'm just sharing what I found on the internet. I've been watching it. And because I'm not very versed in any of this stuff when it comes to testing and research or the laws here in BC, that's why I felt uneasy speaking about it, but I also at the same time felt like I need to do my part and make sure that people know what's going on. So I wanted to make this my focus of keeping up with Canada Today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys, and if you can, remember, please go and to saveourostriches.com, support the ostriches, support the farm, support all of the people that have been out there from day one, sitting there rallying with them. It started with 10 people, and now there's over hundreds that are physically going out there, and thousands across the world paying attention. Let's get more eyes on this. I really hope, again, like you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you're having a great day. And if you're in Canada, I hope you're having a wonderful long weekend. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, bye.